back, we were just counting January 1st.
Yes.
Then 2nd, 3rd. Now January is gone. February is gone. We're in March. And we must keep marching forward. And this marching forward, we're not going to be casually doing it. Because they say, if you live anyhow, you don't get anywhere. Therefore, we must be determinedly resolved to get the things we want in this life as we move on. Today I'll be looking at the topic I titled Fight It Out. Fight it out. The mention of victory, which I think everybody wants. To win. To get to the next level. When you mention victory, it's the silence of obstacles. The silence of difficulties, problems, troubles, challenges, you name it. So victory never comes if there is no fight. For you to get victory means a triumph over something. And sometimes we get we just listened to the doctor, the pediatrician who talked about jaundice. He said some level of it can just go naturally. But there are some that you must give the required treatment. The longer you delay, the more complex the situation becomes. For the one that will go naturally, you don't have to fight. For the victory that will come just with time, you don't have to fight it to win it. But for the ones that must be treated, you have to give it the required treatment. We are already in March. There are a lot of dreams, desires, decisions you have made in the new year. Are you attaining those levels now? What is happening? Some of the things you never planned for are already beginning to happen. Or they might happen and you've not envisaged them, but they're going to happen. What are you going to do? Will you fold your hands and watch them slip by? Because some people will say, if God wants it to be, it will be. No, you've got to fight it out. It's either you are a fighter or you are a beggar in this time. You need to make the decision. You need to take action. You need to be determined. And then you need to stay on course. This is where the fighting it out came from. That after a decision has been made to get something, to achieve something in life, something we did not imagine could come. And this can come in form of challenges, delays, not even knowing which way forward. But you now stay on course and you do everything possible to win. Because that victory is yours doesn't mean it's just going to come to you. Sometimes you need to fight it out. And when we say fight it out, we're not talking of a wrestling bout. It could be physical. It could be internal. But most of our fighting are more internal than external. Internal is going to tell you where, how, and what you have to do to get out of that situation. I bore you with this little story, especially for some of our football fans. You should know the man called Pele. A year came, Brazil went for World Cup and they lost. And when he got back home, he was a very young man, I think about 10 years. And he saw his father crying. And he asked the father, "Why are you crying?" And the father said, it was because the country lost in a football match. And you know what little Pele said to his dad? He said, "Don't worry, Dad, I'll win the World Cup for you." Like a joke. As at that time, he has not started playing football. 17 years later, he played in the Brazilian team. He helped Brazil to score goals. He helped Brazil to win. And he actually won the World Cup for his father. I listened to another story of another man who his friend His friends came around. He used to be in the boarding school actually. But this time around, his friends came and then they sneaked out. They didn't even get the permission of the authorities. They sneaked out to go and swim. He had not swum before, but he just accompanied his friends. And while he was at the bank, they beckoned on him to come. He was like, I'm not used to doing this. He was just being entertained, but because of peer influence, well, he took out his clothes, got into the water. He was moving, first at the waist level, then at the chest, and then all of a sudden, his legs were not touching anywhere anymore. He got deep into the water. He said, at the time, he just jumped up and said, Jesus. And he came out of that water and he found his way out. Some of the things we're going to have in life, we didn't plan for them. We didn't hope. We never imagined we're going to get into the situation. We have planned our life so beautifully well. And then all of a sudden, things will just start happening the way you never planned for it. You need to make a resolve to come back. You need to have that resolve to win. What are you telling yourself today? What is the plans you have today? Or what are the plans, you have today? What is it that is happening that is countering those plans? And if they did not happen, should they happen, what is going to be your resolve? Are you going to say, well, if God wants me to have it, I will have it? Oh, God wants you to have it. The young man that swam out of that water found his way, fought his way out, is Reverend Pastor Chris Oyakhilome. Imagine if he got drowned and died. We would have lost all the impact he's making in the world today. In our lives. In the lives of millions of people out there in the world. See, this success of yours we're talking about, do you know how many people are going to benefit from your victory, from your success? And this level you are where you have not succeeded, do you know how many people are suffering because you have failed to succeed? Or because you have not succeeded. Let me not use the word fail, because there's still a million chance for you and for me. Because you have not succeeded, millions of people are suffering. And when you succeed, millions of people are going to enjoy and benefit from it. Wouldn't you like to be the reason for other people's joy? The reason for other people's victory in life? The light that will shine in the path of people? Would you just stay back and conclude that it's not your portion just because you have a challenge you never thought of? You must be prepared for challenges anyway, because victory will never come unless you triumph over something. Don't think because you have planned it out that everything is just going to go the way you have planned it out. A lot will happen that you never thought of, you never imagined. So prepare yourself for the victory that you want. Hence, you need physical strength. You need internal strength. And I would like to, break it down a little more. That the victory we're talking about, the fighting it out, is not all about a physical combat. It's not all about a wrestling bout where you engage in a fight. And I said that most of the fight are going to be internal. Internal in the sense that you need to have the wherewithal to know. See, it was the internal victory Solomon had that made him to ask for the right thing. He had knowledge and he needed application. So these things I know, how do I use it? How do I apply it? Lord, now that you're asking me to ask for anything, please just give me wisdom to be able to apply the things I know. A lot of you watching me now, you know a lot of things. But you have not made manifest of the gift and deposit inside of you. Maybe because of the challenges you have around. And I do not know those challenges. So that's why we have to talk about the internal and external preparation internal and external fight for your victory. For the physical, of course, you need to, do your exercise and stay physically strong to be able to move out, to come in, to do your daily chores, to do your daily movement, go for your daily dealings. But it doesn't end there, because it's even more internal than external. You need to build your capacity. I've always told you, information is important. It's key. Now, utilization of that information becomes, is it the word they call quintessential? Very, very important. Because what you know is not enough. What gives us victory is what we do. But we cannot do if we don't know. That is why you have to equip yourself in these times, so that you know which way and what to do at each time T. It's very important. And the victory you're going to have might be more in what you have told yourself. Pele told himself and the dad, I'm going to win the World Cup for you. And before the world sees you, you must have said things to yourself 1,000 times more than they've seen it. You need to talk to yourself now. It is talking to yourself that gives you some resolve. Even creation. Listen, the words we speak to ourselves is important. And that's why I've been saying, what are you saying to yourself today? Even in that situation, what are you telling yourself? The words we speak. Creation was done by words. The words go out first, and then it is made manifest. Most of the things you're going to have in life are going to be what you have told yourself. Because the more you tell yourself, the more your spirit man grows thereof. For me, I'm going to be a great businessman, and the white people will work for me. A global business. I'm going to stand up. I'll live a comfortable life. Not just comfortable, a very prosperous life. And even as I'm saying this, there is that fighting in the spirit to make sure that these things happen. You cause the elements of the universe to work in your favor. And you're not going to go and sleep because you know there is something you want. You've said this 1,000 times to yourself, and you must be it. So that when challenges come, you remember those things you said to yourself. You remember those desires, and you are ready to fight it off. Victory never comes without fight. And the mention of it, like I said, is the silence of obstacles, problems, challenges, delays, difficulties, whatever it is. But for victory to come, something has to be done with. We must have fought and conquered something. We must triumph over something. And you need to understand that you must fight for the victory you want. Not all victory will come on a platter of gold. Some are a matter of time, but some requires a deliberate, discreet, determined action for you to have them. So you must be prepared to fight it out. Fight it out. Don't think the world is a bed of roses. Fight it out, no matter how big that dream is. Nothing is impossible. As at 10 years back, Pele, some people would have looked at Pele as being stupid. He wasn't even playing yet. 7 years later, he was able to play and help a whole nation in winning the World Cup. Have your dreams, for goodness sake. Let it look gigantically stupid. I don't care. But if you have made those decisions, you have made those dreams, you have planned out things, be ready for the victory. And when I say be ready for victory, I'm saying be ready for the fight, because you're going to get a fight. If you triumph without a fight, then there is nothing to glory about. It is when we triumph over things, then the glory will be full. And it must come whether you like it or not. I am not preaching to tell you to, invite troubles in. But it's just part of success. It's part of us because it's always part of success, and we all want success. We all want triumph. We all want victory. What a lot of people don't want is the fight that is involved in getting their victory, in getting to the next phase of their life. Your challenges might be in your working place. Your challenges might be, in fact, the greatest challenge might just be inside of you, because a lot of people have made the decision, but they have not, told themselves the truth about getting to where they need to get to. They have not told themselves the reality of the whole matter. The reality is that there is a fight for you. And you must be ready to dig it out. You must be ready to fight it out. You must be ready to fight the fight of success. Poverty is a problem, you're going to fight it out. Joblessness can be your challenge, you're going to fight it out. If you can't fight it out in gaining a job, you can fight it out by creating a job. If you can't fight poverty by having an inheritance, you can fight poverty by creating the atmosphere, the avenue for you to thrive and leave inheritance for others. Don't depend on ready-made. Be ready to work it out. Most people who made it and who made it really big, it was as a result of their determination, their willingness to fight it out, to get out of the place they have been. You have been in this spot for too long. You can't stay there and be complaining. Get out, get up, get out, and get into what you want to be. Stand up, move out, and move up. I keep saying it. The decision you make is not enough. Determination is important. Fighting becomes the tool to winning. Because if you want to succeed and you're not determined to do what you have to do, it won't come. In the case of that jaundice, if you were listening before we came on board, if the one that requires treatment is not treated, it will stay there and it will cause a bigger problem. The failure to fight it now is the beginning of loss for you. The failure to fight it now is the reason you will keep fighting it a long, long time to come. So the best for us to do is to fight it and win the victory now and move on to the next phase of our life. Success is beautiful. Success is important. Millions are suffering because you have not succeeded. Millions will enjoy when you succeed. And you just have a little more effort to put, a little more endurance, a little more resolve, a little more fight in knowing more and doing more. And not just more, but taking yourself a little bit farther in the course of things, doing things a little more different. Perhaps your challenge might just be to change your pattern, your way, your thinking, and so that you are able to know the next thing to do and to do it better than you've done it before. So once again, viewers, the take home today is that the mention of victory itself is the silence of challenging in whatever form it takes, and you have to be determined internally to win. It is more about your resolve inside than the physical fight outside. Physical fight in terms of poverty, challenge, joblessness, or what have you. You need to make that decision inside. Once those decisions are made inside, it's easier for you to fight it out. Because I said this fighting is not just about a wrestling bout. It's less physical and more internal, or I don't want to use the word spiritual so that we don't start tagging meaning to it. Internal means your resolve, your determination, your quest to succeed. If you are really determined and resolved inside to succeed, you will find your path and you can make it. So get ready to find it out. If ever the fight comes, be ready, because one way or another, you're going to have challenges here and there. It is the challenges I call fight. You must be ready to win. Don't say nature don't want you. Nature wants us. And nature is funny and sometimes jokes with us. It just pops up things we never imagined to see how prepared we are. So, the one word is get ready for your victory. And you should know that victory requires some fighting. Thank you.
Thank you very much.